Yo, yo. All right, guys, this is going to be the trade recap for today, 8:25. So, starting off in the morning, some things I wanted to point out here. So, let me just remove all drawings. So, starting in the morning was pretty choppy, and I was able to kind of get a nice QQQ short from this double top that we had from pre-market, right? So, we had this pre-market double top right here, and this was a short that I took the top tick high day today, and I took my position with basically my stop going above here. And when I took my entry was probably like around here, and my stop loss was at this wicking high, just because if we were to come and break the pre-market high, that invalidated my thesis. Now I took the short down, and I only took it all the way, like, I believe back down to, like, was it VWAP or was it the previous day high? No, I didn't take it that low. Like, I got trailed out for around 100-ish points just because the map started to get messy, and it started to what's it called? I started to see some accumulation that was making me more, like, weary about my entry. And in the morning, I did take like a nice long off of the bounce of the QQQ here and SPX king node. I mean, SPY. So I took this bounce off of these two king nodes up. There was a reverse rug on QQQ, and I took this for around it was around like 50 points was my take profit. I didn't hold it the whole way. I would have gotten more if I did, but I mean, 50 points take profit with like a 10-point stop is like still a 1 to 5 or so word. It wasn't bad. And then throughout the day, we ended up seeing that we flushed. And if you guys remember, this previous day high and the previous day high on both ES/NQ, I was referring to this as a key liquidity level for the day, and that if we ended up losing it, we would end up just free falling and dumping. And something I also want to point out too for the people that are using the IBs, today we broke out the IB low right here. So once we broke out the IB low, we broke the low, and we also had VWAP there too. So we broke the low, retested it with VWAP, and that gave me confirmation to short this back down. And I shorted this all the way back down, and I took this to what's known as the midnight level / true day open. It's a high probability level. If it doesn't get swept, to get swept in the New York session. And literally, I kid you not, we reversed buy to tick on that midnight open, or that midnight level at 140 from the candle. So I took that the whole way down and shorted it all the way down. And then sadly, I missed the longs back up, but like, it is what it is. At the end of the day, profit's profit. I was still like up like 10R on the day. So I was pretty much good for the day. And then we got like a run up, and then I saw that we had a nice long from the previous weekly low right here, but I ended up getting off like throughout the PM session. So like, just this is me now looking to see what happened, because I got off around like 12-ish, so I didn't really see the maps as so much. I remember taking a short here. It was just off of this double top right here, off of SPX and SPY. So off of this liquidity sweep, and I took it for, shows 22% on my actual options. Like, I got more percent on that. I think I got 30% on it, and I like exited right when we hit the king node because I was expecting a bounce. So you could have played a bounce play on that, just because there was the QQQ king node, and there was the SPX king node, and there was a reverse rug on Qs back to the upside. So that would have been a nice long thesis too to take back up. And now that I'm looking back, like, we had a nice double bottom right here again. It seems like it was a free long. Look at that QQQ king node right there, right? Is this the same time? No, this is a different time. Never mind. See, Wix actually he took a call here. Yeah. And I closed it up here. Yeah, so this is off of the SPX king node, and then there was also the, oh no, this is the same time. Yeah, I would have longed. This was a free long. I would have longed right here without a doubt. You had a is it a reverse rug? No, it was a positive. But you had a reverse rug above it. You had two king node floors, and then you also had a double bottom. So you swept out liquidity and got a nice move up, and it just ran from there. Like, this would have been a kind of a nice long with the liquidity sweep and two king nodes as the floors, and then you also had SPY pointing up with the king node. So there was not really much downside. There's like no downside here on SPX that I see, and there's no downside on QQQ. No nodes appearing to show accumulation to the downside, only up. And what's that telling me? That's telling me that there's more upside. And SPY also pointing up. Then we had King Node here on SPY, and they just sent it again with basically the tap again SPX, because this is between the $5 range. So this is a tap of the King Node SPX. SPY QQQ had a slight positive at 709 here, so seemed pretty nice. And you can see upside is still growing, right? You guys see the upside orbs as they increase in size. Look at the size as it's changing. It gets drastically bigger towards mock. I said in mock, I was like, fly me to the moon, literally like 5 minutes before, and then we got like, I took SPX calls. Sadly, closed it for 450%. I saw some people took 1,000% on it, which is insane. But even then, like, you see the upside is growing, the downside is like decreasing, right? And what does that tell us? That just tells us there's kind of more market maker intention to the upside versus downside. It's kind of like tug of war. If there's more pull to the upside versus downside, where's price gonna have like that gravity effect too? You know, it's like the gravity well that Wix always talks about. So you got that. Also, one short I took on QQQ. So although we did break the IB range, I still draw fibs. So I drew this fib over here, and I top ticked the short right here. So there was this 618 short, and I was able to take this short back down, and I scalped it back down to the previous day high. So those are kind of the main setups and everything. And just looking back at all the high liquidity levels, we also had the previous weekly low, which was this wick over here, that still played a role today. Once we got back above, had the double bottom support, and it was a double top at the end of the day right here too. But this is after market close, and then you get the dump, and then on ES, I'm pretty sure there was a double. Was it a double top or a double bottom? There was this double top on ES in the pre-market right here. So this is important to see, and then you also have your previous weekly low, but that's from yesterday, and then we never took out this double bottom right here. But you had this top up here from the morning that we called out that if we held below this, we'd ideally be bearish with that technical analysis. And yeah, you have the double bottom here off of the weekly low. So major pivot levels, and then also the previous day high coming into play as well. Talking about these important liquidity levels and why we use them every day. Previous day high, it could have been used as a midpoint, and yeah, played out pretty nicely.